no network issue this time. Okay, so the last will be what? Plumbing drawing. Again, all these five drawings, right, have a completely different chapter to themselves. So I can go on about working drawing, different type of working drawings, how it is to be done, and what are the things you need to note, and how it will vary based on different floor plans. So many technicalities are there behind this drawing. And again, for the floor plan, how to place the furniture layout, how to be true to the site, how to judge whether it will look good in the design. So many concepts are there in the floor plan. And again, for electrical, lighting, and plumbing, there are so many concepts for each drawing. But this session or this seminar is to give you guys a brief idea about what each drawing can do, right? So what I've showed you here is this is the potential of each drawing. So if you have a working drawing or have a floor plan, have an electrical layout, have a lighting layout, things are going to become much simpler for you. So after the session gets over or the seminar gets over, I would really request you guys to have a look at the drawings which I send, and also Google the drawings, Google the electrical layout, Google the lighting layout, Google the plumbing drawing. You are going to get a lot of information, lot of information. So have a look into it. Make sure you're trying to replicate those drawings again and again, which will really help you out. Now, coming to the yesterday's assignment. Now, I want to know from you guys, did anybody actually try to do an office space? Who wants to share the drawing with me? Did anybody try to do any office space or maybe anything of that sort? Yes, no.
Participants, if you want, you can share your drawing. I'll make you the presenter. You just need to raise your hand. Or you can unmute yourself and you can request. I'll make you a presenter. You can present your drawing here.
This is not a test to, check whether you've done it right or no. This is just to, make sure we all are learning from it. See, one thing I told you before also, or I don't know if I did mention that. So, yeah, I had mentioned it. So, even after your engineering, right, don't, in the initial, at least in the initial days, don't forget that you are still going to be a student after that. So if you have that philosophy in mind, right, lot of things are going to become simple for you. I mean, you will know that yes, we are going to the job. That's a job which you're getting paid for, but then it will still be something which you're learning a lot. So at least for 2 years, still think that you're doing some course or something and start doing it. So even I am learning, even you guys are learning. So everyone out here is learning stuff. So anybody wants to share, we all can learn from it. That's the basic idea of what I'm trying to tell you. It's not like, okay, if I display, then this faults will come out or something like that. It's not that. It's just that we all can learn from okay, what is happening. If anybody is willing to share, then. Okay, someone has actually shared it. Okay, my screen is visible, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
So we can see the floor plan basically, the one which is Geeta has done. So we can see this floor plan. Are you guys able to see the floor plan? Okay.
No, we can't see. Have you shared it, sir?
No, no, I
Not,
haven't.
not.
It was in the meeting chat. Okay, I have to download it and share it.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a sec. Divyam, okay, I'll just request you, can you just download that plan and just share it on the screen because I'm not able to do that.
Yeah, just a minute. I'll just try sharing it. One second.
Are we able to have it on the screen?
It is taking some time to open in the AutoCAD.
Okay. वो वाला काम वाला किसी बच्चों से भी मंगाया जाता है कर रहा हूँ अब उसको खत्म करो या फिर मैडम आप बस वो ले रहे हैं क्लास अच्छा मैंने बच्चों से कुछ ना कुछ दिया नहीं कुछ भेजा है अरे तुम्हारे पास वो नहीं है क्या वो लिस्ट ले लो ना बच्चों की हाँ किस क्लास में कितने बच्चे जो जो मैडम देखिए कुछ इन्होंने वो फॉर्मेट एक या तो एक काम कर सकते हैं फॉर्मेट में एक पेन निकाल दूं मैं और उसमें हाथ से भर दो फटाफट अच्छा आज जाना था वो बहुत दिन हो गए उसको अच्छा तो हम
Somebody's mic is on, I guess. Can you please
हाँ
mute
करो
it?
ना फिर उसको बैठ कर काम करो ना तुम अपने काम तुम ये यार ये सब बाद में पहले जो ऑफिस का काम जाएगा वो काम किया करो पहले आप हाँ सर मैं वही बच्चों को इसलिए देता हूँ कि तुम्हें पता है बच्चों की लिस्ट का हाँ सर मैं भी कर रहा हूँ उसके लिए कर भी गया उसके लिए भी कर रहा हूँ मैंने खुल गया तुम्हें फैकल्टी की जरूरत है तो ये मैडम आपको सपोर्ट करेंगे बैठ कर ठीक है सर हम कर देते हैं दोनों लोग बैठ कर दो उसी क्लास चल रही है ठीक है सर
Still loading. Mr. Amin, it is still loading. It will take some time, I guess.
Then okay, ma'am, we'll do one thing maybe.
Yeah, so no, by the time you can just start, by the time if it loads, I'll directly present it.
Okay, ma'am.
Share.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, my screen is visible, right? So students, my screen is visible, right? Hello.
Your screen is visible, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yesterday I told you guys that about our office floor plan. I had explained it to you yesterday, but I'll do it again. So this is almost a 850 square feet office. It's almost a 850 square feet office. So this is the main entrance, which is already there in the second floor. And right now I'm sitting in the same office actually. So this is the main entrance to that office. And there was a partition here, wooden partition here, right? And then there was this cabin here which previous people had done. Basically previous people had done a cabin here, and here was the entrance. And then when you come out, we did not have this actually. Then there was this huge hall kind of a space, and here they had put some shelves, maybe because to store something or something, which we had taken it out. That's why I've taken it out. But basically, it was like this huge hall. And then as soon as you enter into the space, you have this existing workstation, which was already here. I mean, it was just a blank existing workstation, which was already here. And you enter out, you have a huge hall again. Now, in this, what are the requirements I told you they were asking for? Yesterday, I had, given the requirements to ma'am, but again, I'll just list it out here. So the first requirement they were asking for is, of course, a waiting area, then a conference room, then a new workstation, including the existing workstation. I mean, they don't want to take out the old workstation. They want to retain it in the same position and then have a new workstation. And then they wanted to have a pantry of a good size, and then they wanted to have a two cabins. I mean, two cabin space, and then they wanted to have a UPS space consisting of four batteries at least. Yeah. Yeah. So this is basically the requirement list what they had given it to me, and this is the space allotted to me. So there was this partition in between here. So, okay. I would like to show you guys the video actually of this office so that you get more detailed view about what it is. I'll just take 2 minutes here.
Participants, please wait. I think there is a problem with network. Kindly wait for 2 minutes. I'll just try talking with the resource person. Participants, just kindly wait. There's a small network issue from the resource person's side. Please wait for 2 minutes. It is getting resolved. He will rejoin in a moment. He has come. He'll try coming out of the Teams and he'll rejoin. Please wait for 2 minutes. Uh, Dear participants, sorry for the inconvenience caused. Please wait for a while. We are trying to get Sir back to the meeting. Please wait for a while. Yeah, fine. We can hear you now, Mr. Sayed.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Can you hear me now?
I'll share that drawing which you were talking about by Miss Geeta.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah, just a moment. I'll share the drawing. Yes, can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the picture visible, sir?
Yeah, yeah, it is visible.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to read the drawing basically. What is the size of the floor plan? No, if at all Geeta is on the session, I would just like to ask, what is the size of the plot you've taken here?
The dimensions are not mentioned, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Quick suggestions before going into my actual floor plan. That is one, whenever you're submitting the floor plan, always make, first of all, right, you've done a great job. I'm not, taking out your flaws or something here. First of all, you've done a great job, and it is very good that you posted it out. One very important thing what I learned in this whole journey was till now, whatever I've been working is that standing out, coming forward, even when you know you're wrong or there are so many mistakes, is actually a great thing because there are so many people who are trying to learn interiors, who are getting into this industry, trying to work it out and everything. But the first step is taken by a very few people. Suppose you want to show a design to your boss, because you feel your design is not up to that mark, you won't show the design to your boss itself. So that will eventually hinder your growth and take a lot of time for you to actually grow and do something with it. So the first step what I've done is really great. But now, just giving you some suggestions out here. Whenever you submit an AutoCAD plan, you have to make sure it needs to have measurement. It needs to have measurement of the plot. It needs to have measurement of each room. It needs to have measurement of the doors, the windows. If not doors and windows, at least the size of each room, so that the viewer is getting an idea about, okay, this is the size of the plot, and this is the size of each room they have allotted for, so that we can study the floor plan in a much better way. Right. So, with that said, ma'am, I would like to share the actual office floor plan so that I can continue.
Okay, okay, okay. So I'll stop sharing the screen. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this was the office floor plan. Now, how did I divide this basically? Now, one thing is right that you have. I told you the first thing. Whenever you look at a floor plan and you look at the requirements of the client, you have to now do the space planning, right? Now read the requirements, okay? A waiting area, a conference room, a new workstation, a pantry, a 2 cabin space, and a UPS space for 4 batteries, right? Now, initially, the initial idea of all of you right here, because this is the main entrance of the office now, and you know the dimension here, the first thought which will come into your mind is either it can be your waiting area or reception. Yeah, I'll just show you the video so that you get more clarity on this. One second. Okay. Yeah. This is the video. So this is the entrance. So it's a small entrance, small waiting area, as you can see. It's a small waiting area. And this is the partition. This is the existing partition which is already there. That is the partition which I've showed in my AutoCAD plan. So then on the right side, there's a small space. And then you have, yeah, this, there is a wall here and this area is separated now. So this is one single room. And then we move on, and then there is this huge hall. So might be that they had a, you know, another workstation here which they have taken it out, or might not be, in two cases there. So after, as soon as you go out from this entrance area, you have a huge hall here like this. If you can see, there's a partition here, there is a passage here and everything. Huge hall here. And okay, yeah, right there. So that is another cabin which I was talking about. That is another cabin which they had already made it. More and everything. Now here is the passage where you see your existing workstation. Yeah, this is your old existing workstation which they already had, which they basically don't like, they want to retain this. It's plain, yeah, here. This right here is that huge hall I'm talking about. So huge hall which some partitions were made for, I don't know what purpose, but yeah, there's a huge hall here. So this is basically your office space, right? So that is the AutoCAD plan. Like, that's not a proper AutoCAD plan which I had made. That's a rough draft I had made it. Okay, here. Right here is your floor plan. So this is the entrance, that waiting area which we saw. You come out, then a small cabin which was already existing, and then there is a small hall wherein you have some workstation paneling here. We don't know whether it was a workstation or no. And then you enter this passage, there is this old workstation, and then as soon as you come out of it, there is a huge hall. This is the floor plan, in fact. Now, to start with the designing, how do you design a space with this kind of a requirements, right? How do you do the space planning of that? How do you evaluate whether you can actually distribute this requirements in the space or not? Right now, of course, this project, I had designed it in a span of some 2 weeks, because once you design, no, that is your ideas, but maybe client will have his or her own ideas. Then you talk about it, you put it in the floor plan, you make the estimation, then the client will be like, nay, this is going too much, so we'll change the floor plan. Then again, so many changes happen. So whenever you make a first draft, it is not necessary that that will be your final floor plan. That will definitely change a lot. It's even in the, it can change in the design phase, it can change in the estimation phase also, so that to balance out the budget. So that is why now this, what I'm trying to tell you now, it is my ideas, and also what I had discussed with the client, how we came up with a budget and how we reduced. So these are my ideas. Of course, there might be a lot better ideas out there, but at the end of the day, the client has his own ideas, the client has a budget, and I have my own ideas. All these things have to come and cooperate with each other in order to make a floor plan which is justified for his space. So that's how a floor plan is made, right? So now this is the main entrance, right? How would I do a space planning? Usually what I do is I take up circles to divide my area, so that I just get a hint about, okay, what I'm doing. So let's say this circle out here, that is the entrance partition. This will become my waiting area, because they wanted a waiting area, right? this will become my waiting area. Okay, let's first say that this entrance area will become my waiting area. Now you might ask me, why not make it reception? They did not want a reception. Okay, so in this space, basically, I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, so in this entrance space, what you see, you might ask me, why not make a reception there? Point number one, there is very less space to make a reception. In the video, it's looking a little bigger, but if you see the actual AutoCAD floor plan, the width is 1590. Okay. See. Yeah. In the AutoCAD plan, the width is 1590. That is about 5 feet. In 5 feet of space, even if you give a 3 feet of table, 2 feet of walking space, and then, it will be too much of, cluster over there to make a reception, first of all. And the width from the door is 1730. That is also somewhat nearly, 5.5 feet or something. 5.5 feet to nearly 5 feet 8 inches or something. Even in this small space, if you make a reception, right, that will be too compact. And reception is given in places where actually the purpose of reception is served better. But here they didn't wanted a reception because here there is no point in giving a reception. They don't use a receptionist or something. So they wanted basically a proper waiting area. So that is why I chose this area to be my waiting area. Okay, so that's a circle drawn over there. I'll show you the actual design, like how I had done it, but I'm just doing the space zones now. Okay, so now we know this circle will be our waiting area. Now what do we do with this cabin? They have a cabin here, right? They have a cabin here. So basically the room size is 2200. That is nearly some, 7 feet 4 inches. And 3220 is nothing but nearly, less than 11, like a little less than 11 feet, like 10 and a half or something. So 10 and a half by 7.5. Let's assume this 10.5 by 7.5 is this room size, and that is what they have done to make a cabin. Previous people have made a cabin here. You saw in the video, right? That yeah. Yeah, see, there is a cabin over here. This is the room which I'm talking about. So there is 7.5 by 10.5. It's the approximate measurement of that room. So we have that room, we can utilize it for something. So right now, let's be clear with what spaces we can actually use. So we have made a waiting area here. Then here is the old existing workstation. So let this circle be for the same. Then now, what are the requirements which are pending? So waiting area is done. We need to make a conference room. We need to make a pantry. We need to make a 2 cabin space. First of all, 2 cabins. So we need to give a space with 2 cabins here. So how do we do that? Now these 2 cabins should kind of be next to each other. This is what they had told me, that when you make the cabins, make sure it is kind of next to each other. Now I see no space here where I can give the cabins next to each other and it makes sense. Now see, this is the waiting area. They come out from here. There is a huge hall here. Now if I make a cabin here again with a passage or something, it does not make sense, because in the entrance when I give the cabins, right, then there is a workstation. So people have to cross the cabin and then come to the workstation. Usually cabins are places which are little more private. So a person is interacting with 2 people or something, it has to be private. So much of traffic in front of the cabin will not be good. So as soon as you enter the space and you make a cabin here or here, that is too much of traffic for you. But it will work out in places like you have to monitor whoever is coming in the entrance. So old people, what they did, they made a waiting area here, they made a cabin here. That is because they wanted the whole employee system to work from here to here. Old people wanted the entire work system to work from here to here. That is why they made a cabin here or waiting area here. So anybody enters the place, they will see that there is a waiting area here. They'll come, they will talk to the MD or manager, whoever it is. After talking, they will just go out from here. That is his idea, old people's idea. But these people's idea is that we want all the whole place from here to here to be the employee space. And we want our cabins to be more private. We do not want it to be in the entrance. So obviously, the more suitable, and now according to client and my discussion, the more suitable and the most sensible place, this huge hall. This is the place where I can place those two cabins, right? That is, if I show you in the video, it is actually this place. Yeah, this huge hall. This huge hall is the place where where I have to, not I can, I have to keep my two cabins, because this is the only place which will be at the last, which will allow them to have privacy, which can accommodate two cabins and which can be next to each other. So according to the requirement of the clients, discussion with the clients and every other factor, this is the place where I can place my two cabins. So let us put a circle over here. This is for two cabins. So we are decided with the two cabin, we are decided with the waiting area. Now about the conference room, where to give the conference room. So we can definitely, this is the area where we can do that, because obviously this area is locked now. This area is used for the old working station. This area is used for the waiting room. Only two areas are left. That is this area and this area. This area is too small to become a conference room. This area is quite good to become a conference room. So what I suggested them, let's make a conference room here. But their point was that if anybody is entering here, then waiting area is here. As soon as they enter, they will have a conference room here, which will not again be private for us. So basically, again, they wanted to make a conference room private. So then they suggested me that you make a conference room here. But this area is very, very small for a conference room. I mean, very small. Like you have 10.5 feet of a space and 7.5 feet of a space. So 7.5 by 10.5 is a small space to make a conference room. Now the question is, how do I design it? So let's first of all make a circle that they confirmly wanted a conference room here. So this is booked. So waiting area, check. Conference room, check. New workstation. Now this is one thing which is pending. Pantry is again pending. Two cabin space, I have given a space here. UPS space for 4 batteries. Now this is again pending. Okay, so let's now think about where to give the pantry and where to give the new workstation. So because you saw in the video here, yeah, if you rewind the video, yeah, right here, yeah, right here, right here. As soon as you enter into the left side, they had the pin board over here, which tells us that they might have had a workstation there. We don't know for sure, but they might have had, and that place is actually good to have a workstation because you can accommodate employees in a line. So that is a good place. So I suggested them the same. So why not have a new workstation there so that it will make sense for you. And they were happy with that idea. They were like, yeah, this idea sounds good for us. Let's go with that. So what we did was we allotted this space for a new workstation. Okay, so this will be our new workstation. Okay. Now, waiting area done. Conference room check. New workstation check. Pantry is the question now. Where to give a pantry? Now, pantry is not a kitchen. Pantry is something which is smaller than a kitchen. Only if you have one sink and place to keep a few things, it's enough. That's the pantry for you. But the other requirement that they wanted was they wanted a prayer room also. So they wanted a space wherein they can pray. They wanted a space wherein they can have a pantry also. But the whole space is logged now. I mean, here I have to give 2 cabins. Now for 2 cabins, almost the whole space is going to go now. And here is the old workstation. I can't do anything over here. New workstation, I can't do anything over here. Conference and waiting area, I can't do anything over here. So now what to do? How to give a pantry and a prayer room? So what I did was I made a partition here of aluminum and glass, which I'll just show you. And I gave a space of nearly 6 feet. And yeah, I did this. So I made a partition here, but this is not made from POP or wood or wall. This is basically made from aluminum and glass. So it will be completely of glass so that someone enters the hallway, right? So that will be like a very good highlight. So that is how I had designed this. Why I give so much of space was, suppose 600. So if I give a 2 feet of a sink unit here, actually I didn't go for 2 feet, I made only 500. Now see how I'm able to decide this, whether it will be working for 500 or no, 600 or no, because I know the market sink sizes. I have purchased the sinks, so I know which sink is going to fit in that place. So that is why I was telling you in the first day, always know the market value, like what is the market price, what kind of dimensions are available and everything. Because when you know that, while designing it is very easy for me now. Earlier, I never used to know what is the size to be allotted for some things. But now after designing so many spaces, I know if I give so much space, that will work out for me or no. Okay. So 500 of space I've given for a sink, and the remaining, so the total space here is 1800, that is 6 feet. And for sink, I'm allotting 500 of space. The remaining space will be 1300, which is nearly 4 feet. Yeah, at a little more than 4 feet, 4 feet 4 inches. So where to give the door to this now? So I told them we will give a door here. So door can be of 2.5 feet. That's more than enough for this area. So this line, what you see here, from here to here, this can be your door area. So the partition can be of 4 inches, that is 100 mm. So make 100 mm, delete this, okay. And again here, we'll give a partition of 100 mm, complete drawing, okay, and we are good to go. This is going to be the door space. This can be a sliding door or a openable door. If it has to open, it has to open and go touch here. This is not the exact dimension. It was a little more bigger now, but kind of is enough for one person to go stand. And if a sink is here to operate there, and because if you give a sink below that, you will give a cabinet. So this place is perfect for you to give a sink, below have a cabinet, operate it, and also have a wall unit if you want. This space is perfect for you. And someone to get inside it and operate the space and read the number, like the prayer and everything, and then go back. Yeah, this space is more than enough. I had actually made it a little bigger based upon, how much a person has to stand and everything. So a little more technicality had gone, but I'm not going into it because I'm keeping things simple for you. Okay. So this is going to be my pantry space. Make a circle around it. Okay. So now we have come to the end of the requirement. So waiting area is check. We have done. Waiting area is here. Conference is check again. Conference is here. New workstation, check. Check again. We have made it here. And then pantry, check again. We got the space for pantry. 2 cabin, check again because we got a space for 2 cabin. UPS space for 4 batteries. Now this is the actual problem. Now UPS guy, when he visited the site, he told me that he wants a room of this size to place his UPS. And now the actual problem was that we have started with the work and we have allotted the space. We have done such a wonderful space planning. I mean, we know the waiting area is going to come here, conference, beautiful conference, workstation, this, everything is jam packed here. The only space left is this much, but giving UPS there will spoil the look of the entire office. And of course, going into conference and everything will become very, very difficult. So this was the most challenging, space to be provided. Then after so much, I got an idea about it, which I'll show you in 3D actually, because in 2D, it's a little difficult for you guys to understand it. So now let's move on to the 2D SketchUp file of this and what I actually did here. I hope you guys are following. Is it too complicated or something? Are you guys on mute?
Please respond, participants. If you have any doubts, you can ask sir right now.
Basically, you guys are following, right? It's not like something which is complicated or something. If it is, you can just tell me right now. Anyone wants to answer? No? Okay, ma'am, my SketchUp file is visible, right?
Yeah, it is visible.
Oh, I mean, I can check the chat also. Okay, if you guys even okay, I'm assuming that everyone is understanding what I'm trying to tell, so I'll just continue. Okay, I'm actually not, you know, supposed to share this if it was a few days back, but good that this office space is completed now, and I can definitely share this idea with you. Okay, so this I had, of course, imported the AutoCAD plan. Of course, I had imported the AutoCAD plan, and that is how I came up with this design. So here is the design. So this is the entrance, and you have a waiting area over here. Simple, subtle waiting area with sliding doors below it, so that they can get storage space there. The name of the company sorry, the name of the company is MLG, that is Mainline Global. They have this huge franchises in a lot of places. They deal with petroleum work, and that is the company which approached to for me to design the office space. Very good experience with them till now. So this was the idea, for the entrance. I mean, I'm going to give strip lights here because this is not a rendered model. You guys are not getting idea about this, but I'm going to give strip lights here and everything. There's going to be a wallpaper here. Then there's going to be a laminate here. I have told them you can put your logo with chrome plating here, which is going to look really nice. We have a nice blinds over here, which will cover this existing window, which is there. Seating will have cushion and cloth material, which will be very comfortable, very subtle. I've made an electrical layout of this also, wherein I've positioned the sockets in such a way that it will help them for charging and everything. So the carpet design, the flooring, basically, the flooring is carpet flooring, which is very, consistent for the whole area until the MD cabin, because that has a different carpet flooring. Why I chose this was this is kind of matching the color theme basically. That's why I went with it, and yeah, it's going on well. The conference table, the conference room, which I made it here, and of course the glass door. They want a fingerprint system over here, which can of course be provided here. And then once you enter the conference room, now it gets interesting because I was actually able to do that. I was actually able to accommodate a conference table with chairs and everything. Now the thing was, this is a little uncomfortable setup. Okay, let's be honest here. I'm not telling that this is the best setup. They have so much of space. I was able to accommodate, but I told them the limitation of this, because the problem with this setup with the conference is, if anybody is sitting here and anybody wants to go here, they have to move around and it's a little bit of hassle. Why these people agreed to it? I told them frankly that, sir, this will be the problem. If I give a conference, if I give the chairs, it will be problem for people to move around because there's literally no walking space around the chairs. They were fine with that because in the previous office they had this kind of issue, but they told that that was not so much of a problem to us there, so it will not be so much of a problem to us here. So only based on their agreement, I made this as a conference room, or else my suggestion was to not make a conference room in this size because it will actually hinder the space. But even after 2-3 discussions, they were fine with having a problem there, but still they wanted to have a conference room there. I was like, yeah, fine, it's a choice. So, but the design of the conference table, right, it's more beautiful than what I have put here. I'll show you once the office is done, because now I can't actually show you guys that. The tabletop is done with a very beautiful geometric design. Little bit of mathematics has had to go there. And also, you will not find this conference table in Google. This is a combination of two ideas, and that is not there in Google also. And I'm so happy that we could design a conference table of this, but in the on site it is actually looking a lot more beautiful because the shape is more dramatic and it is dominating the whole space there. So yeah, a good conference table basically. And hide last. Okay. The chairs, it's not yet selected, but yeah, they are planning to select some good chairs. So my idea was they wanted to keep everything simple and elegant. So I told them that have wallpapers on the opposite walls, I suggested them a lot of design for conference room, but then at the end they came up with they wanted something really simple and subtle, just which can just touch the space. That's all. So basically, I suggested them that okay, have wallpapers on both the walls, opposite walls, which will look fine, and this walls can be painted, which will look very subtle, also nice also. And then you can have, of course, a whiteboard here because it makes sense. Someone enters the door, they have the whiteboard here to operate, to talk, and everything, which will go really, really well. Just a minute. Okay. Yeah. And also one thing which I want to tell you guys, right? This would not have been possible without SketchUp, right? Many students out here generally ask me like, sir, what is the software to learn? What is the software to learn? I would tell you, first of all, AutoCAD. First priority AutoCAD, and not simple AutoCAD. Those five drawings which I told you: floor plan, furniture layout, electrical drawing, lighting layout, and plumbing drawing. These five drawings without fail you guys have to learn in AutoCAD, and that too as perfect as possible. Then once you're done with these five drawings, move on to learning SketchUp. Learn SketchUp as much as possible, because I'm telling you, because you're still not into the industry, you do not know. People out there, they are doing SketchUp day and night. They are becoming pros in SketchUp. They know so many shortcuts today. I mean, you can set the lighting, the control, and so many things in SketchUp. I mean, you can create a render exactly like this. For example, yeah, like this. You can create a render exactly like this. No difference. This will look like an actual picture. In SketchUp, you can do this. People are going to this level, and if you people are still learning SketchUp now, then it will become too much of a problem, because competition is so much. I have seen students who have completed engineering, yet they are able to make the renders like this. I mean, that's completely based on practice and passion. So if anybody wants to learn software first, especially for interiors, right? Especially for interiors, learn SketchUp. First thing is just learn SketchUp, and learn SketchUp in a way wherein you're exploring options, trying designs. Take up any picture from the Google, and there are so many videos on YouTube. Let me tell you that it is very easy for you to learn. As I told you yesterday also, I learned SketchUp in 3 days, like basic options and everything. After that, I improved in a span of 1 week. I had, kind of understood the options, and in a kind of 1 month, I had completely, I was able to design it in a very, very short time. So that was my experience with SketchUp. Because previous to SketchUp, right, I was learning 3ds Max, and I learned it on my own through YouTube. But that took me a lot more time. It took me 2 months to learn 3ds Max, because it's a very, very complicated software. SketchUp is easy, and you guys are still waiting for coaching centers and this and that. That will take up too much time of yours. Because every interior office, right, and every architectural office, they're expecting you to minimum know SketchUp as a software. AutoCAD though, it's default. There is no like, okay, you don't know AutoCAD. There is no question asked. If you are a civil engineer, they will 100% expect you to know AutoCAD up till the proficiency. Like these five drawings, they will assume that you know to do these five drawings, and in such a way that a worksman can actually do. They will assume it automatically. And SketchUp, right? They will, everybody, it's a norm now, because I'll tell you the reason behind it. Now, what is happening overall, as far as I've seen in Bangalore at least, that each and every architectural offices who are interlinked with each other and working with each other, they are sharing their designs through SketchUp files only. So now when a boss gets a SketchUp file, he will throw it to me and he'll be like, okay, chalo, edit karo, and then, send it back to the client. I should know SketchUp, right, up till that proficiency to understand, okay, what other office people have done. So of course, SketchUp is very, very important, and the whole design, what you see here, has been done in SketchUp. So yeah, SketchUp is really very important. Don't miss out on it, and make sure you start learning it right from today. If you want to get into architect office or interior office, right today, just start learning SketchUp. That's one thing to be noted for, which is not so difficult of a job. Trust me. Okay. Done with the conference room, simple conference room with a table, six chairs to accommodate it. But you have to understand the technicality. I have very less time to actually explain you each and everything about the office, or else I would have done that. These sliding channels, we have used for the waiting area, are slow close sliding channels. Um, I wish I could have shown it to you here. Okay. I take the liberty to actually show it to you guys. Well, I want to explain it to you more, but this will become like a whole curriculum now because, but I will just take the liberty to show you this one thing because, right, sometimes what happens is technically, there are so many things involved which is impossible to tell theoretically. Okay. Now this, let's say this is a cabinet, okay? For waiting area, below the waiting area, what sliding we have made, even this is this kind of a sliding only. Now if you see, observe, it goes and closes slowly, right? I don't know if the movement is visible or no. See, it's still closing slowly and it goes and it locks. So this is a slow close channel which is which has to be set in your sliding channel. You will get a normal channel also which will close itself, but it will not be the slow close. You will get this channel for the sliding, even for your drawers also you will get this channel. There is push to open, so many other variety of channels available in the market, but I can't go into so much depth now. But all I'm trying to tell you is what I'm showing here is very basic overview of that site. Technically, I've made it very strong. So the channels which are used here and here is also slow close only. So for conference table, now again, here, I'll just show you some bits because, it's really interesting if you guys see this. It will really help you, to understand how actually the market is working or maybe what is happening. So what I suggested them was in conference room to keep a system like this. I'll show it to you. Just a second. Okay. Okay. I'll share my screen. Yeah. So this is a system which is used in, I mean, I'm asking them to, use it in the conference room because once you press this button, the whole system is going to come out wherein they can put sockets for charging. You have this HDMI port, LAN cable, USB port, and so many things. If you just press a button and this whole system comes out and you can charge your phone, charge your laptop, and so many other things. Projector also can be used with this. So I am asking them to install such a system in the conference room, right? Install such a system in the conference room so that when they install it in the center or something, this is going to really help them out a lot. All of them can be, using it. Now just think, now if you have to give that system, obviously you need wiring for that, right? You need wiring for that. You have to cut the table, you have to pull the wires, you have to make sure the wires are not seen. See, even for one small product, so much of technicality goes into it that it is just, so at times no, it becomes your mind is blocked literally. So that is why interior designing is something, right, which you need to completely involve yourself. Like for me it is like day and night, even when I go to sleep, right, such some technical issues are coming into my mind and I think about it, okay, what to do about this, what to do about this. Then morning I wake up, I get an idea, I run to the site, I do the drawing and I'll be like, ha, ye karenge is jagah pe and the wires will not be seen, let's pull the wiring from here, let's do the putty here and everything. And okay, about ceiling I'll talk later, but that is what I'm trying to tell you guys, that interior designing, once you get into it, right, it's about just consistently thinking about it and making sure that how you can make your design stand out, how you can make your design technically strong. This kind of a conference room, anybody can build. But if you give a carpenter the drawing to do, and if you ask me to do, there is going to be a vast difference there because I am going to use my softwares, my AutoCAD, my electrical drawing, my technical knowledge and everything to make sure that the end experience is good for the person. But if you give it to a carpenter or someone who's not, unprofessional or someone who's not yet into the field or something like that, I'm not comparing that I'm the best, but I'm just telling you, if you give it to some unprofessional person, is definitely what he's going to do is he just wants to complete that project in that timeline. So anybody can become unprofessional now. I can also become unprofessional if I don't think that, yeah, I have to do proper AutoCAD plan, those 5 drawings, then do the SketchUp, then do this modeling, then make sure I think about this technicality. If I don't do all of this, even I can become an unprofessional, because then I will start thinking about money, right? Okay, client is giving the money, just keep the things and let's just go from here. Wires are seen, don't give the slow close channel, give a normal channel and leave it. Don't give blinds that his tension or something. That's a different story now. But then to try to achieve to become perfect, right? You cannot never become perfect in this industry because there is someone out there, doing better than you. But to try to, achieve that perfection is what is going to get you forward in this field. So that is the conference table for you. Then when you come out, I told you, right, new workstation, I have planned it here. So this is a new workstation wherein 3 people can sit and there is a boxing here. Can anybody tell me why did I make this boxing? Any student, just randomly tell me why did I make that boxing?
Participants, you can't unmute yourself. I have enabled your mic. You can unmute yourself and you can speak.
See, this is the work, I'll tell you. See, this design would have been possible even like this. Simple. Keep the monitors on top, keep the keyboards, CPUs and everything, you're good to go. Why did I have to make this is the question. No idea. Okay,
for hiding the cables.
Oh, fantastic. Who answered that?
Yes, I'm Gayatri Sherkar.
Okay, which year are you in? Which year are you in, Gayatri?
Second year, sir.
Okay, I mean, that's a brilliant answer for a second year student. That's exactly why I made this boxing, to hide the cables basically. So what client wanted was he wanted to place the monitors on the wall. I mean, he didn't wanted to keep it here on the tabletop. He wanted to keep it here. I mean, using the clamps, he wanted to stick it on that wall. So I thought about it. Okay, then if I stick it on the wall now, obviously there will be wiring, and I have to give a hole here and then take the wires, which will be seen, of course. So when I make a paneling here, I drill a hole here, then I drill a hole inside it, then all the wiring will be gone inside. So fantastic answer, fantastic thing that you are thinking about it. So that is how you have to think. If a client tells I want here, don't randomly be like, yeah, we'll do it there and just give it like that. Think about it. Think about technically what is the problem behind it. So he again wanted drawers and everything. Just to make sure the drawers are placed at proper positions, for me it took 2 days to think about it. What to do with the drawers and how to place it in such a way that the doors should not be hindered or anything such should not happen. Now this box right here is kind of a mystery box. It's just fun.
Participants, I have
Yeah, I'm sorry.
enabled your mic. So whenever you have any queries, you can randomly ask, sir, because it will make the session even more interactive. Let us make it that way. So you can unmute yourself and you can ask, sir, at any point of time. Okay.
Okay, so the paneling is there, and this box is a mystery box which will come later about this, what is this box and everything. And now the pantry, as I was telling you guys, the pantry which, okay, the material is gone. Just a second, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, some color problem has happened here. But basically I wanted the pantry to kind of be, yeah. Basically, I wanted the pantry to kind of be, transparent. Like, okay. So when you enter from the waiting area, you enter here. I have set a scene actually. Yeah, the pantry is going to kind of look like this. So you will have this aluminum frame and then glass, and that is the door for you, which will open here. And if you once see the pantry, it will have a sink unit. It will have a sink on top of this. It will have a cabinet below. It will have a wall unit below with shelves, and they wanted to keep a coffee machine. I put granite on top of this. Again, right? These kind of technicality, right, can be only seen. That's what I'm telling you. If I had to tell you everything, no, it's a whole curriculum. But then I'm trying to give you very simple tips. Like, what is the size of granite we had to use? What is the depth of granite we had to use? How much sink could be accommodated there? Was it a wall top sink or a under counter sink? What is the problem if we give a under counter sink? See here, this is a pantry for them. This is a wall unit and this is a cabinet. Now, if I place a under table sink, if I cut the granite and then put a sink, right? So this will act only like a sink unit for me. It has no other purpose because inside the pipe will go, the outlet pipe will go, and if I open it, will start stinking. Nobody can actually use it properly so much because the space is gone. So only space available will be the top space wherein they're planning to keep a coffee machine. Now again, see, when the client tells me something, right, I start thinking about technicality. This is how you guys should be thinking about it. So see, if someone out there, now the client suddenly told me that, see, I'm keeping a coffee machine here. So think about it. Where will he keep a coffee machine? Of course, he can't keep a coffee machine inside this because no use of doing it. Because who will fill the coffee? Nobody. If now here sink is coming, no point in keeping it here. We have to keep it here. Now, if I have to keep it here, then no problem, right? Now, normally when I tell you keep a coffee machine here, you'll be like, okay, we'll keep it. But what is the problem? What do you have to think? Can anybody tell me what do you have to think? If I tell you keep a coffee machine there, what is the problem in keeping there? Any student can answer this. What is the problem behind keeping the coffee machine in this top shelf, top wall unit? No idea. The problem is we do not know the size of the coffee machine and we do not know what is the depth of this wall unit I have made. I have made the depth of this wall unit 300 because they did not tell me that they will keep a coffee machine. They told it later on. So I had made this coffee with the depth of the wall unit 300. Now, if the coffee machine size is more than that, the depth is more than that, then it might not be accommodated. But luckily for my luck and their luck, the coffee machine which they are purchasing, the depth of it was 360. 60 mm difference is fine because 60 mm, even if it comes out, someone has to take a coffee and fill it, it's fine. This is just one example I'm telling you. What I'm trying to tell you is, if there is a product in the market which you have to take it and put it on your site, make sure you know the size of that product so that whenever you're designing, it will be helpful for you. This is how you need to think about interiors. Don't be randomly like, okay, make a sink unit 2 feet, give it. No, in some cases you have to adjust it in 500 also. This is a 500. This sink, what I have made, the depth of this granite is 500. In the market, when I sent my person to purchase the sink, I made sure that what sink I was purchasing was at least less than 500 because I know my sink unit was 500. General sink size, if you see the architectural floor plans, right? Generally they'll give 600. There is 2 feet. 2 feet of depth for a sink unit. But here, my only option was to give it 500 because I wanted more space for persons to do prayer here. See, they have to stand and do prayer here, right? So they wanted space there. So I wanted to make this sink unit as in the depth as less as possible. So anyways, if I start, it will become more technical for you guys. What I'm actually trying to tell you here is make sure your floor plan or your design is technically very strong. So scene 5, this is our pantry unit. Right, this is a pantry unit, nice aluminum frame, simple sink unit, simple wall unit. There is already a window here. I'll put blinds there and I'm good to go. About false ceiling I'll come later, but let's first complete the rest of the areas. Okay. So after this is a mystery box which will come later. Okay, workstation is here, pantry is here, you enter here. Now you have a huge, the existing workstation. I just saw in the video, right? There was an existing workstation here. So the existing workstation was there. I have modified it and changed it according to what, you know, I wanted. So it is actually scene 2 or something. Yeah, scene 2. This is the existing, like old workstation which I modified. You saw in the video, right, how it was. In the video, it was something like this. Just a second, I'll show it to you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, in the video, this right here, this scene was your existing workstation. You can see, right? Ma'am, my screen is visible, right?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, this was the old workstation. So with lot of technical, designing and everything, we were able to manage to pull off this kind of a workstation. So much of technicalities there here again, which I can't explain in such a short time. But basically, the idea is to have at least to accommodate 4 people here and 1 person here, to give the drawers in proper spaces, to have again wall paneling here so that the wires can be hidden, of course. And I wanted to give an open shelf here so that people can immediately keep something on top, because usually what is happening, the depth of this table actually is 2 feet. Because I gave a paneling, the depth is reduced now. So the monitor is on wall and all the space they have is to keep the keyboard and mouse now. So I wanted them to have more space. So I gave an open shelf here so that they can keep immediately their phones, some items over on top there, open shelves, and they can actually use this open space and look good also. Then again, I give sliding, doors, cabinets here. Why I went for sliding here, and here is the reason being is it'll take up too much space. The space here is less between this and this. The space is very, very less. So I didn't wanted them to occupy too much space. And if someone opens and there is a problem, right? That's a general problem. If someone has that open system over there and someone gets up, then they might get hurt or something. So that's why again, sliding is the best option here. But these sliding channels are costlier than normal sliding channels. This is soft close channels. It is available in a company called EPCO. Each single channel will cost you around 2000 rupees. So you can just imagine that just the channel cost in this cabinet is 2000 rupees. Why I'm telling you all of this is, see, interiors, no, is a field where so much of money is gone, even for the smallest of the thing. Now the channels are not even seen here. The channels are literally not seen here, but the cost of the channels is more than any other material which we have used here. Handles are costing less, plywood is costing less, the laminate is costing lesser than that. So the thing which is not seen at all, that itself is costing more. So only if you're technically strong and you know about it, only then the client is going to trust you and invest money on you. That is why, as important it is to learn AutoCAD and SketchUp, it is equally important for you to have market knowledge. So that is why whenever you get time and you're done, some people are done with engineering, some people are actually, second year, third year, I can see here. So whenever you get time, Sundays or something, of course, you have your own life, go enjoy, you have friends and everything. But then at least in 1 month, no, give one Sunday for market survey. One Sunday, right? Give it for market survey. Go to, plumbing shops and then the electrical shops, big electrical shops wherein you can visit. You can go to Chickpet and have visits over there, which will really help you big time. So have good market knowledge, which will really help you. So this is the workstation. So where are we now? Waiting area is done, conference is done, the pantry, the old workstation, the small workstation is done, and yeah, of course, this is the continuation. Old workstation modification is done. This is done. And then I create, actually the false ceiling design itself is very interesting. It will actually follow the same pathway. And here I had a locker box, basically simple locker box, because they wanted to have a lot of files over here. I was like, yeah, fine, sure, go ahead with that. So simple locker box here, 4 feet height, which can just accommodate a lot of files. Then you have a passage, you get into, and you can see the color theme of the laminates. I've kept it consistent. This light wood color and coffee brown color. This is the color theme for the entire office from the start to end, basically. Only the conference, I tried to shift it a bit. Only the conference, I tried to shift it a bit because, conference will not look good, that great in that color. Then this is cabin 1, cabin 2. Cabin 2 is not yet completed. So this master cabin is still going on. The work is still going on here. Cabin 1 is kind of completed, but a little more work to be done here. So this is how I was able to distribute the space so that I can give 2 cabins here. So there is a window here, there is a window here. Now, according to Vastu and everything, he wanted to keep the table in this direction. So that was one constraint which I had. The second constraint which I had is with the space. Because when you have a space like this and you have to divide it in such a way that you have to accommodate 2 cabins, then the things gets interesting. I mean, there are so many technical problems which you might face, which you have to tackle here. So he was fine with having the main person was fine with having the cabin in any direction, because he was not so much into Vastu and everything. But this person really wanted to follow Vastu and have the table here. So I made sure I made the partition. I made the opening so that he can have a fixed glass here, openable door here, a nice simple table here with the space to accommodate 2 chairs and one main person to sit over here. Now my idea is to put a wallpaper here to highlight the whole room. The false ceiling in his room is really nice, so that will enhance the look of this room. And then moving on, you have the main empty cabin whose design is a lot more complicated than what is shown here. So much of technicality. My idea is to give a huge nice TV unit up till the ceiling, have gypsum motifs here, and make a nice backdrop with shelving, glass, mirror, and nice laminate over here so that it looks very luxurious. The table itself is made with metal, marble, and wood, which will look very, very luxurious. Then you have this nice lounge chairs, which will add up to the room, and that will be the MD cabin. Not yet finalized, but will look really nice. And he even wants the door to be up till the ceiling. So these are some things, right, which will, make things difficult. Suddenly when the client is expecting you to make a door, literally we go up till lintel level, right? It's 7 feet or 8 feet maximum. Now he wants me to make a door of 10 feet, wherein the door has to open only 7 feet, but the top portion he wants it to just be fixed. So such kind of technicality will kind of make things difficult, but now is not the class for you to understand the technicality. It will take a lot of time for me. Now to wrap up the things, last thing is this mystery box. What was this actually is, you guys might be aware, right? We had tackled all the requirements except one requirement. We had tackled waiting area, conference room, new workstation, pantry, 2 cabin, but the UPS space was something which we had not tackled. Now, UPS requires space, right? It requires a space, it requires a room, which is not available anywhere now. So what I did, I designed this cabinet in such a way that it's just made of wood outside. It is just like dressing up on a cloth. Inside, it is actually a metal rack frame. I'm trying to give their metal rack frame. I had taken the sizes from the UPS guy. He told me that in this width, right, you can keep only 2 batteries. He can keep only 2 batteries on the bottom. So now what will happen is, if I have to keep 4 batteries, I am going to make a floor now, rack. So 2 batteries below, 2 batteries on top. Why go with metal? Because acid is involved and so many technical things involved there. So now if I make with wood, wood can easily damage it. So that's why outer covering is made of wood, just to cover that metal rack. Now here I'm going to give rack so that 4 batteries and 1 UPS can be put up here. Now why this design? So this design is kind of like a open design, like vents are there for this, which will allow because heat to dissipate from there and everything. So based on that technicality, I had to make this UPS box, or else there was literally no space in the whole office to get a UPS. So right now there is space. Right now it is good. I mean, this has been working out well. This was an interesting design right now because till now, whenever I have placed a UPS in any space for that matter, I have always kept it on the ground like a room. This was the first time when I had to, make a metal box for that, and it's really been fantastic. This office is almost about to come to an end, and I'm actually sitting in this office right now, but I can't show it to you guys because it will become too confidential. So once it is completed, maybe I'll just post some pictures or something. I'll give it to Divya ma'am, and she can actually show it to you. So yeah, now I was talking about the false ceiling, right? So false ceiling here is basically a grid ceiling. A grid ceiling is something like this. Some people might know it already. Yeah, if you can see my screen, this is a grid ceiling. This is a grid ceiling usually done in commercial spaces, office spaces, hospitals, and so many other places. Grid ceiling is used. The reason being, so much of wiring can be hidden over there, and the biggest advantage the grid has over the POP is once the POP ceiling is done, anything to be altered is very difficult. You can't take it out. You can't run anything else there. But in grid ceiling, it is made up of channels and such grids that anytime you want to pull any wire or fix any new light, you can just take out the grid and do that. I'll just show you here because we have done that in fact. So you can see over there. So that portion actually has the grid ceiling in it. So anytime I want to do anything else over there, I just take out the grid, pull the wires, and if you want, I can give any lights over there, take out the grids, keep it. No need of painting and anything. It comes with proper finishing, so it can be used. So for the entire office, the grid ceiling is used except for the cabins because they wanted to be, they wanted it to be a little more luxurious, and I was like, yeah, go ahead with that. So conference again, grid ceiling, nice patterns and everything, and again here. In fact, no, because it's so easy for me to show it now. But now, if I try to rewind in my initial days of my, when I was learning this and everything, I hardly knew how to operate SketchUp. And I practiced it so much day in and day out that I was able to do SketchUp even without the mouse. Trust me, I was only doing it in the trackpad because the time was so less, time constraint was there, and architect was demanding so much. So day and night I'm just sitting in front of the computer and doing SketchUp. So I had come to a speed wherein I could do it only using the trackpad. So SketchUp without a doubt is very important. Don't miss on it. Then scene 6 is the old workstation. Scene 7 is the locker box, grid ceiling and everything. Scene 8 is this and first cabin, another cabin. Scene 9, yeah. Scene 9 is this cabin. Actually, I'm planning to give this kind of a false ceiling in this cabin actually, but it's still yet to be decided. But yeah, it might come out like this. But your colors and everything has to be varied. Scene 10 is the MD cabin, which is not yet finalized, but kind of would come out like this. I had rendered this just to show you guys a glimpse of what the rendering power of SketchUp can do. So suppose this model with basic lights, I did not even use some, proper rendering techniques. If I use it, it will be much better. But with this simple technique, which I used, basic lighting also, I was able to generate an image something like this. Yeah, now see, it's a simple basic lighting. If I go for more advanced lighting here and there and everything, it will look very real. Because there is a rendering software called V-Ray. It will make the image look very. How to give the mirror texture, how to do so many things, and I can give the metal shine here. So many things can be done with proper lighting, material, and texture. So SketchUp again is very important. If you want to enter into interiors, first thing you do is start learning SketchUp. So with that said, I would like to, end up the whole session and the seminar. It was a wonderful experience to interact with you people, first of all. It was very, very nice to show you what is going on in the industry, how you have to approach the industry, what you have to do and everything. If I have to sum it up in one line, that is, if anybody out here has to become an interior designer, the first thing is all in your mind. You have to start acting professionally, deal with things professionally, and you have to take up your mistakes more seriously. Like if you're not learning SketchUp today, that means take it up more seriously. That's a 1 day loss for you. If you're not able to practice the AutoCAD drawing or complete your assignment or submit it, it is that you're not just dealing with it professionally. It is not that every time when you get money only then you have to work. If that is your thought, right, it's not, you can never grow, especially in this field, because money will come. Money is there in this field, everybody knows it has a lot of money here. But what nobody knows is, I have seen people earning so much, shooting their careers and falling down in such a way that they have nothing left in this career itself. Because unprofessionally also you can grow, professionally also you can grow. What is the difference is, professionally you can stay in this industry for a very, very long time. Unprofessionally, there is definitely a fall which is going to happen. So major points: start learning AutoCAD, start learning SketchUp, start exploring, go to the market, start learning new things. And if I have able to do anything out here, then record, like you have the recorded session, see it, and if at all there is time and there is a chance again, I would definitely be happy to come again and then see where you all are after a couple of days, a couple of months. But for now, it was great interacting. Thank you so much, ma'am, and that is a wrap.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session. Today's especially, we took a lot of inputs from your experience. But now I want to keep the session open for all our participants. You can interact with sir, you can ask him doubts, you can please give your very valuable feedbacks to us regarding the workshop. It will really make our day. So I have already enabled the mic for all of you. You can unmute yourself and please give the feedback, and you can ask whatever doubts you have in mind. So the next 15 minutes are for the discussion and doubts. Please, I request all of you to please come up and please ask doubts and inputs. Your feedback is very important for us.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir, Rahul, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. Thank you, Sumam, ma'am, and sir. It was wonderful session. Actually, this session was new for me as well, and there is definitely like lots of things can be improved in building drawing planning, which we taught to civil engineering students, and that will really help it out. And many things which you have taught will definitely be incorporated and will help us to learn more. The sessions like were quite informative as well as new. So thank you for giving us opportunity for learning new things. Thank you, ma'am, and organizer, and thank you, sir, for explaining such wonderfully and such simply. Like it is so simple, like you taught, like it is very simple, like that way. But when we practice, it is very difficult. But you have taught in such a simple manner that it is we feel now it is easy, and we can also try, and our students can also try. Thank you for all the things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rahul sir, for your very valuable feedback. And I request other participants also to please come forward. You can ask any doubts because we have a person from the industry here readily available in front of you. Please do not lose this opportunity. You can ask whatever related to interior designing. Please ask, sir. You can, yes. One person sir has posted. I just read out, sir, just in the chat. Do we have any code book or any standard books which can give us knowledge and information about dimensions, its style, text size, etc., and sheeting details to give an output?
Okay. Yeah, I just saw this question now. There is no code book as such, especially. these drawings, no, I had completely learned it in my architectural office. So what I can suggest you is you can actually type in this architectural floor plan, any floor plan in the Google. Like for example, if I have to just show you. Yeah. See, now if I can just show you any architectural floor plan, you can choose any one. See, in this one floor plan, right, my architect always used to tell me, study the floor plan, study the floor plan. And I used to wonder, what is there to study here? I mean, there's nothing such that I can actually study here and learn anything from here. But in a lot of places, no, he was right. See, now as I have done it in my floor plan, like the dimensions are aligned continuously, it is in mm and everything, all these things, no, I learned it just by studying the floor plans. So what I would request you guys is to see as many as floor plans and as possible. Keep seeing them, like how they have placed the furniture, what type of furniture they have placed, what is the symbol they have used for the doors, what is the symbol they have used for a sliding door, what is the symbol they have used for a double door, how they have placed the measurements, have they done in meters, centimeter, and can you replicate the same thing in your AutoCAD file? That is very important now. Okay, there is no code book as such which I have followed personally for interiors. What I have done is, whenever I used to see a drawing or a SketchUp file or an AutoCAD file, I always used to try to replicate the same in my AutoCAD file, my drawing. Which then what used to happen was, used to get me close to getting things right, getting things right. So that was my trial and error experience with whatever I have learned till today. And I'm pretty sure if you do the same, no, it's well and good for you. And also one more suggestion for all the students, if you're in second, third, fourth year, if you want to enter into interiors or basically some architectural thing, work under an architect. Instead of working in an interior design company, work under a reputed architect, which will give you a lot more knowledge, immense knowledge from him, because his drawings, his references, his way of approach will be completely helpful for you, at least in the initial days. And even today, see, I've worked in so many companies, but even today, if I have to give any example where I learned, I will always take his name, architect's name, because that is the office where I learned maximum. So that is why, that's one suggestion: work under an architect in initial days. And second thing is, there is no code book for dimension, style, text size or anything, but definitely all your Google floor plans, if you are able to replicate it, you will try to become perfect with your dimensions, the styling, the colors, the texture and everything. So that's enough for you.
Any other doubts, any inputs? I want the participants to give their sincere feedback, because this session has given us a lot of information which we cannot get from the books. It is entirely from the site experience which sir has spoken here. So I want you to please come up with your valuable feedbacks, any doubts if you have, because we'll have sir for another 10 minutes more. So please do not lose this opportunity. Please come forward and ask the doubts. I require your feedbacks about the session.
Excuse me,
Yes,
ma'am, am
please.
I audible?
You are audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. I'd just like to give my own comments. I just want to say thank you for the workshop, and I felt it was very crucial at this point in my degree, because I'm in my 6th semester and I have to do my internship soon. So it really helped, especially when you gave the pointers for the interview and the things we need to know, because what I had found so far were the listed requirements on places like Internshala, and I'd see things like 3ds Max there, and it really is difficult so far to learn compared to the other softwares. So thank you for clarifying which softwares are actually very important to learn. And it also helped to give some clarity as to what to do after the degree, because that's also tricky, because interior design is such a wide field. That's so I also wasn't sure about whether to work under interior design or architecture. So that made it very clear. you just mentioned just now that it's best to go and work under an architect first. So that
Yeah.
made it also very clear. So I'm looking forward to the internship now because I now understand a bit more what I'll actually be required to do, and what I need to know before I get into that. So thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
So,
ma'am, for your valuable comments, valuable feedback. Yes, please go ahead.
sir, actually, I have learned Revit, sir. So I have learned Revit, 3ds Max, and AutoCAD. And actually, I'm working. I did work for a few companies earlier. So I am thinking of learning SketchUp. So what would you suggest? Like, should I become a pro in Revit, or else I should learn SketchUp too parallelly?
Now, it depends upon which company you're working and what is your scope of work. Are you working in an architectural office or interior office or construction firm?
Construction. I mean,
Yeah.
residential plots and all. We'll draw and we'll
Yeah,
just.
that has to be done in Revit. I mean, Revit is like that best software. See, whatever you learn no will not be wasted. Even I learned 3ds Max. Even to like now, almost I have just forgotten it by now. But I do remember if I practice it for a week, I'll get back to it. So, but that knowledge which I have now, no, it's not a waste. So what you have done is an excellent job by learning Revit and 3ds Max. But SketchUp you have to learn only when you're designing interiors and some architectural drawings. Interiors especially, I'm telling you want SketchUp. So if you want to enter into interior field tomorrow, then you try to practice SketchUp. But for now, I don't think so. Are they asking you like, is there a demand that you have to learn SketchUp for doing the work which you're doing right now?
No, 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 sir. I'm asking on personal interest. That's it.
Yeah, you're good to go. I mean, you don't have to learn SketchUp. That is what I told. See, nearly I was in my initial days, right? I was firm on learning some 15 softwares at once. I was learning 3ds Max, trying to learn a little bit of SketchUp, then ArridoCAD, ADeco, there was ArchiCAD, so many softwares I was trying to learn. So confused. But then I got to know today for what work you have. If you know that software properly, it's more than enough. See, I'm working in interiors. SketchUp and AutoCAD is the most used software for me. That's enough for me. I will not learn Revit. I will not learn 3ds Max because it will not help me in whatever field I am now. But for you guys, you have to first decide the field. If you want to do interiors and architecture, learn SketchUp and AutoCAD. If you want to get into construction, then learn Revit. And 3ds Max is still not required. Revit is for sure because then you have BIM software which is related to Revit. So construction, Revit for sure. But if you are working in a proper 3D rendering company, wherein they are making 3D renders and 3D drawings a lot, then 3ds Max is really important. Then if you are going into structural field, then your stat pro ETABS is important. So it is based upon the field that you have to learn. So now if your field, you are working into construction, your work is happening with Revit, become a pro in Revit first. And not first, become a pro in Revit only. The day you want to change your field, that is when you have to start thinking about SketchUp. But for now, I guess you're doing a good job. You're working into construction, learn Revit, learn BIM also because that is going to boom the market next. And if any at all you have any structural inputs to be given later on, then learn softwares like Strat Pro and ETABS instead of learning SketchUp. That's my input. Yeah.
On basis of Revit and all, see, actually, this job and all, it's okay, sir. As per temporary basis, these works. But if I have to start a company on my own or something, like an,
Yeah.
I'll
Which company? Like, is it a construction firm or an interior firm?
I'm thinking of gathering few people, sir, like who are professional in Stat Pro and Revit and for planning and
Yeah.
all.
Here is the thing, right? Good. What's your name, by the way?
Bhuvan, sir.
Bhuvan. So actually, fantastic question by him because I had almost forgotten this point which I wanted to mention in the seminar also. See, being an employee in a company, starting your own company is two completely different things. Okay. There are two processes to it. I'll tell you how. I'll take 2-3 minutes because it's a huge different story altogether. First thing is you become an employee. You learn a lot of things. You start your own company because you have experience and you are good to go. Some people want to start their own business directly without working in a company. That time, no, you have to be very intelligent because you're gathering people now. You don't have to know the designing knowledge of softwares. What you have to know is how to get the work done with which people and how to target the clients. So there are two ways by which you can start your own company. Either become an employee. learn the softwares, learn everything, then start your own company, because now you know the softwares, you are starting the own company. Second method is directly start a company, gather all the people who know the softwares, take the client base, make the network very strong, and just think about how to expand the business. For that, you don't need to know the designing knowledge. So if you're and Bhuvan, as
Yes,
you
sir.
already know Revit and the other softwares, and you want to start your construction company, this is a point where you don't have to learn the softwares. Get people who know the software and they can work for you. All you need to know is the basics of that software. Matlab, if you're sitting next to him and you're guiding him that this is the work I want to be done, this is how you need to do, you need to know basics of that. That is enough for you. So this is a point. If you want to start your company, don't invest time on learning any softwares. Start a company, gather people, and let them do the job for you. You worry only about the client base and networking. But for people who want to eventually start their company by working in a company, then if you want to become an interior designer, get into an architect office, start learning everything, work for 2 years minimum under the same architect. Work for 2 years minimum under the same architect. Then the third year, work in a proper interior designing firm. Fourth year, start your own company, because at that time you will have a network base, you will have learned so much of softwares, you will know how to tackle the people, you will have so much of market knowledge, you will be a pro in that. So that will be the second step to go for. So for all the people who are thinking about how to start the company, eventually work in a company, get the experience. I mean, work in an architect 2 years, 1 year in an interior design firm, start your own company. For people like Bhuvan who have already worked in construction firm and then they are planning, such people like you have to directly hire people who know the work to be done and directly assign them the work and make sure you are just doing networking and client base. That's more than enough.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other questions? And participants, the feedback link has already been posted in the chat, and your e-certificate links will be sent to your registered email by Tuesday. Okay. Post the chat box as well. The feedback link is already being posted. The certificate link will be sent to your registered emails by Tuesday. Sir, we have our HOD sir here, Dr. Nakul Ramana. He would be addressing you in a while, sir.
Okay.
Okay. We have Saravanan also. Should we take a question from him, madam, before I?
Yes. Yeah. Mr. Saravanan, yes.
Afternoon, ma'am.
Please go ahead. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please go ahead.
This is my audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Such a wonderful event, such a wonderful session for me. I learned many things from this small things and all. It's very much helpful to me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Very much helpful to me. So once again, thank you, sir. Sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very much. Thank you. So, hello, Mr. Sayer, sir. I'm Dr. Nakul, HOD of Civil Engineering Department. I'm sorry I couldn't join the inaugural session due to personal commitments I had. I was on CL that day. This is the second workshop of yours I'm attending. The first one was last semester when you were basically handling the course for Divya Nair Madam's value-added course on Vastu in building planning. So even though there were less number of students, I can see the passion you brought in to teach to the students and how you were even checking their assignments. And I saw their outputs also. So that's when I told Madam, we need to have a workshop from you, this semester. And I'm so glad she was able to arrange. So I'm so glad you were able to dedicate time to help us and our participants. You can see the interest among the group, although we've shared the feedback link and everything, they're still here waiting to listen from you. And we have steadily had over 100 participants. So that's very nice, very positive sign. This summer, we do want to have another workshop from you, the level 2 of the workshop, where you can talk about more about SketchUp and how to take drawings from AutoCAD and then post-process with rendering. I'm sure that will also be a lot of value to our participants. And last 2-3 days, we've got a lot of positive feedback also. This was not just a workshop where you're showing how to operate tools and lay things in places. you are actually giving them instructions on how things appear to be, what you're supposed to look out for. Many students ask me also, sir, which is the best software to learn in civil, from employment perspective. Is it okay if I learn only AutoCAD? Sir, I know Revit. Is Revit better than AutoCAD? And I keep telling the same thing. Whichever software, AutoCAD is the basic, because that tells you about measurements and it teaches you about visualization. It's 2D drafting. Whatever software learn it really well so that you can apply. And like you rightly pointed out, they need to know how to lay out furniture, how to do doors, window setting in there. MEP layout is good. And at the same time, when they're going to fit in furniture, that visualization aspect should come. What kind of doors I can provide in there? Should it be sliding door? How are the measurements? Because rarely you will have clients who are so well versed who will come and tell you, I need my living room to be exactly 3 meter by 4 meter, correct? They just say, I need the east facing more like and this much space. So you go through a lot of revisions and you might end up frustrating yourself and lose the project if you don't have this visualization process and show the layout, including the markings. That's what will, gain you appreciation, in front of your employer and help your employer get more projects also. And less iterations and revisions means more productive time for yourself. And that was very unique. You were able to show through pictures and videos, scroll and show how it's supposed to look and how you're supposed to be doing it in drawing. Many students lack this visualization when they're working in software. So I'm requesting, as you've seen, we've shared these videos also for your participants' benefit. So please go through this, learn and understand what kind of visualization process you need to have, measurements, how it has to be, placed, that makes your project more attractive. Okay, so then you're actually going places. First learn AutoCAD and then you can go on to any 3D model. It can be Revit, 3D Max or SketchUp, but ultimately it's you who's going to be putting all the tools in place. You are the planner, not the software. Software will put anything you want to put in there. And will it be appealing to the client who's asked you to do this is something you have to think. It comes with practice and passion, like sir has rightly pointed it out. Thank you so much, sir. Your workshops are always very unique, very informative. So this summer also we want to have one more workshop, time permitting, from you. I'll have Divya and I and Madam coordinate in that regard. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for enlightening us. We'll be in touch.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So now we come to the end of our session, and we had really very good time these 3 days. We never knew how the time passed, and still the students want more information from you. And as sir suggested, we would like to have another session with you, sir. And now I'm just coming forward to the last session. Yeah, anybody? 1 second, sir. I just mute the participant. Yeah. So thank you so much, Mr. Syed Amin, for such a wonderful and informative 3-day session on interior design essential. And I'm sure that these 3 days workshop would have changed the perspective of the students about this particular field. You have helped us understand the importance of using accurate measurements along with the right usage of material for the components while we are placing them in the AutoCAD drawing, and how effectively to work with blocks from the design center and also which are readily available from the Autodesk. And we know that after every session, there were appropriate assignments also given to the students and to the external participants as well. And the review regarding the same along with useful tips were provided later on in the next session. So this has really helped our participants to understand what was taken in the session and how we can reproduce these ideas shared in the form of drawings. The key intakes from the mock interior project, which was discussed by sir in the second day session, it helped the students learn new concepts that can be learned only when you work in the site. And as sir said at one point of time that how it is important to know the software such as AutoCAD and SketchUp, it is equally important to have market knowledge and material knowledge. We also understood by your sessions that the design when you design a spacious room, it is considerably easy. But when we come to designing a smaller space as per the custom made, like as per the requirement from the client, it is how it is made. It is entirely up to an interior design. It is where an interior designer stands out. I also would like to thank all the external participants who shared their valuable ideas and inputs that made this workshop a great success. And I also thank our Associate Dean SOE, Dr. Anadini sir, and our HOD, Dr. Nakul Ramana, for giving us this opportunity to conduct the workshop. And this event would not have been possible without their support. And this occasion would be incomplete if I don't thank my dear colleagues and the student representatives, without which or without whom this workshop would not have run so smoothly. So thank you so much, Mr. Saidamin, to have spent your valuable time with us and to have shared your vast knowledge about this particular field. Thank you so much. And we would like to have you in the next session also, as sir suggested. So please, we want to have you here. So, sir. And anyways, the recordings from your session, we have already shared it with our registered participants. And today's session also would be shared with them, sir. Thank you so much for making time coming here, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.
So, participants, thank you all for joining this session to make this workshop a great success. And these 3 days, I hope you have learned a lot of things, and you would try to know more about it, about interior designing, about the softwares, and make this workshop useful for your future. Thanks a lot for attending. Similar kind of sessions again would be put up by Presidency University. Please join us. Thank you so much. Thank you, Syed sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you all. Thank you all.